Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, today we'll be going through a few rulings of fasting. So what we do is, I'll go through a few slides, and where I feel need to, I'll stop and ask you some if you've got any questions. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So first of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has said that in the Quran that fasting has been made obligatory upon you, and it was made obligatory upon the people that came before you also. But the main reason for fasting, why it has been made obligatory upon us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you acquire this quality of taqwa. So taqwa means to create a barrier between yourself and the disobediences of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That how can you yourself stop yourself from sinning and create increase your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this month, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has given this month so that we ponder over the level of our taqwa and try to get closer to Him, inshallah. Just some virtues that are mentioned in the hadith. So whoever fasts in Ramadan with firm belief and with hope of gaining reward, his previous sins will be forgiven. So this month is a month of maghfirah, and it is one where we should have conviction that we will get forgiven. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentions, in paradise there is a gate which is called Rayyan, through which only the people who fast would enter on the day of resurrection. No one would enter along with them. It would be announced, where are the people who fast, that they should be admitted into it. And when the last of them would enter, it would be closed and no one would enter to it. So this is a gate in paradise which is specific for only those who fast. So this shows the virtue of fasting, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sees fasting as so high that He created a separate door just for those people who fast. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentions, every deed of the son of Adam brings 10 rewards, and it can be increased up to 700. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, except for fasting, the fasting is for me, and I will give the reward for it, as he leaves his desires, food and drink for my sake. Fasting is a shield, and there are two pleasures for a fasting person, one at the time of breaking his fast, and the other when he will meet his Lord. And the smell of the mouth of a fasting person is better in the sight of Allah than the smell of musk. So normally when a person, he does a good action, he gets 10 rewards, and it can be increased up to 700, because that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His mercy. He can increase his reward to however much He wants. But when it comes to fasting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says that I will give the reward for this. He makes Himself the reward for this. Because why? He leaves those things which are halal for him, his desires, his food, his drink. He stops himself from doing those actions, those things which are halal for him, which is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He likes this action very much. And it says here, fasting is a shield, and there are two pleasures. Fasting is a shield in the sense that it is a shield from a person doing wrong. Because if he is stopping himself from doing those which are halal, then it will be easier for him to stop it. It shows that he can stop himself from doing those actions which are haram. And there are also many reasons, there are also many ways of when a person he eats less and he drinks less, then Imam Ghazali rahmatullahi, he writes a full explanation of how that can lead to a person resulting in him doing more actions and more deeds. And he mentions here that there are two pleasures for a fasting person. One at the time of breaking his fast. This can mean that at the end of the month, he gets Eid al-Fitr. So that can be one pleasure, or it can mean just iftar at the end of every day. And the other, when he meets his Lord. So on the Day of Judgment, when he meets his Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says that fasting is for me, and I will give the reward. So that will be the other pleasure. And the smell of the mouth of a fasting person is better in the sight of Allah than the smell of musk. So even though we go through the day and our mouth may smell, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that this is better than the smell of musk. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentions, whoever does not fast one day in Ramadan without having a concession allowing that or illness, fasting for a lifetime will not make up for it. So even a person, if he misses a fast of Ramadan and he tries to make up this to his whole life, even if he was to fast his whole life, he would not make up for this fast. So this shows the virtues of Ramadan. Now, what does fasting actually mean? So in Arabic, Sawma yasumu siyaman, it means to refrain, to abstain. So that's the literal meaning. So what do you mean by here? To refrain from eating, drinking, and sexual intercourse during daylight hours with an intention. So first of all, you're making intention that you're not going to drink, you're not going to eat, and you're not going to be involved in sexual intercourse. Now, during daylight hours means that from Fajr to Maghrib, you're not going to do these actions. If after that you can do it, it's jaiz. With an intention, that an intention is necessary. To make niyyah, to make an intention is also necessary. Otherwise, it will not be counted as a fast. So just some different types of fasting. There are those which are compulsory. That includes Ramadan, so that's, Ramadan fast. Then vows. So if someone was to say, for example, that if I pass my exams in school with such a grade, then I will fast for 1 month, for example. So then this fasting now he has made it necessary upon him. So that's a vow. Sunnat and preferred fasts. So that's Monday and Thursday. That's the Sunnat fasts. The middle days of the month. So that's the 13th, 14th, and 15th. Ayyam al-Bid. And 9th and 10th of Muharram. That's another Sunnat fast, and day of Arafah. Those days which are unlawful, there's 5 specific days in the Islamic calendar which a person cannot fast on. That's the 2 days of Eid, so Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha, and the 3 days commencing Eid al-Adha, so the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th of Dhul Hijjah. So who is fasting compulsory on? So fasting is compulsory on a person who is Muslim, mature. So mature, a person who is baligh, he's had a wet dream, or a girl, she's had a period, and are able to fast and do not have a valid exemption. So they can fast, and there's no reason for them not to fast. There's no shari'i reason for them not to fast. So fasting is not compulsory on a sick person. So some of these will be they allowed not to fast right from the beginning, and some they can break their fast during the day, or depending on whichever one it is. So a sick person, we should remember that a sick person doesn't necessarily it's not just a normal illness that a person may have. It's not just a normal headache that, because today I'm feeling a bit weak, I don't want to fast. It has to be a shari'i reason. It has to be valid in Sharia, that it's such a sickness that maybe a person, he can't do his daily chores, he's bedridden, for example. So there has to be a valid reason for him not to fast. It can't just be a minor illness. A traveler. And if a sick person, if he can't fast in Ramadan, then he can make up these fasts after. So for example, someone, he might have a terminal illness, where, for example, diabetes, some people, they can't fast during these long days. So then if they can try to fast in the days of winter. Otherwise, if they can't, then they can give fidya. Fidya will be explained later, inshallah. Then a traveler, a musafir. So to remember, for traveler, it does not permit you to break your fast, but it permits you to not start your fast from the beginning. So the point of concentration, the point that you want to look at is the Subh Sadiq, the start of the beginning time of Fajr. That at that time, what's his status? Is he a musafir? Is he muqim? So if he's gone out of his village and he's traveled more than 48 miles, then he will be counted as a musafir. So it is permitted for him not to fast. Although he can fast, it is out of choice for him, but it's jaiz for him not to fast. And if he breaks his fast, there will be no kafara. If he does break it, it's jaiz for him, so there will be no kafara. So if he's traveled before at Subh Sadiq, he was musafir. Now, if he kept his fast and then during the day he felt that I can no longer keep up with this fast, so he decides to break, there will be no kafara. He just have to do qada for that day.
A question on that one.
Yeah.
I was traveling from Tanzania, but my journey started at midnight. Then I was in Amsterdam around 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
So does that mean I don't have to fast from there?
So if you're traveling for less than 15 days,
Now I was traveling for, I think it was like 9 hours.
But so you got there at 7 o'clock in the morning.
I got here 7 in the morning.
Yeah. So
Do I have to fast on that day? Or?
So
So my journey started from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
Yeah.
At midnight. I was in Amsterdam, what time? 7 in the morning. Then I was here around midday. But in between there, I was just like, I was waiting. My connection was like 4 hours.
Yeah. So you count as a musafir, so you wouldn't need to fast for that day if you don't want to. A menstruating woman. So this is a person, she can't fast from the beginning. So it's not that if she wants to fast she can. This is a person who can't fast at all. Sharia said that she cannot fast. So she'll have to do qada for this day after Ramadan.
How about the maturity of like the children? Does that imply that he has to be like either a certain age, and do they have to fast the whole day, or they have to start like half days?
It'll come after, inshallah. It'll come after, later on during the slides. It'll come later during the PowerPoint, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah.
So if a menstruating woman, she becomes pure before midday. So before Dahwatul Kubra means from Fajr to Maghrib, you calculate the hours and then you half. So it's not your normal, it's not your Zawal. It's not Istiwa Shams. It's between Fajr and Maghrib and you half the day. And then, so if she becomes pure, she becomes tahir before then even then she will still have to make up for the whole day. So because she was not allowed to fast from the beginning, so she'll have to make up for the whole day. Pregnant and breastfeeding women, if there's fear of harm, so if there is a level of confidence that if they go to fast, then there will be trouble either for her or her child, then it is permitted for her not to fast. So missed fasts must be made up at another time. So after Ramadan, if they can't make up if they can't fast during this month, then after Ramadan, sometime they should make up for these fasts. They should do qada of these fasts. So if they find it easier, some people they find it easier to fast in the winter days. So then because fasts are relatively shorter, so then that's the first option. So the first option they should try and do is try and fast another time. If they can't fast, or even then, if say someone's got terminal illness, he can't fast for the whole year, for example, then he can do. Then he's allowed to pay fidya. So fidya, he can give. He can give if he knows before as soon as the month has started, and he knows he won't be able to fast the whole month, and he won't be able to make up these fasts, then he can give fidya for the whole day, for the whole month. But if a person he is not sure whether he knows he can keep it up later, then he will not be permitted to give fidya during then. And if a person he dies, so he missed a fast during Ramadan. For example, he was sick. Now, say he's missed 10 fasts, for example. Now, after Ramadan, he should try to make up these fasts as quick as possible. So it is better to keep these fasts over nawafil. He should try to keep these fasts first, because obviously the qada for faraid. So he should try to keep these first, and then if he wants to keep optional after, he can. But for example, say if a person he lived for 5 days and he died, for example, then a person he would only be accountable for those 5 days. So even though he missed 10, he will only be accountable for 5 fasts. So if he kept those 5 fasts during those 5 days, then it's fine. If he didn't, then he'll be questioned. He'll be accountable for that. So, any questions?
Not for me.
So intention. Intention needs to be made each day to differentiate worship from routine. So for each day of your fasting, there needs to be intention. So intention is just a feeling in the heart. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to say by tongue. So for example, we all wake up for suhoor and we eat suhoor. But why do we eat suhoor? It's because we know we are going to fast. So that's a feeling in the heart that we're going to fast. We don't eat breakfast because we know we're fasting. So it's fine. You don't need to say by words. If the fast is already fixed for a certain day, then intention must be made between Maghrib the night before and midday, Dahwatul Kubra. So if the fast is fixed, so Sharia said that this day is fixed for Ramadan, for example, then a person, he can make his intention from the Maghrib the day before till Dahwatul Kubra, meaning till midday of that day. So between Fajr and Maghrib, you half the day. So for example, if Fajr is at 6 o'clock and Maghrib is at 6 o'clock in the evening, so 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., 12 hours in between, half the day, 6 hours. So it'll be at 12 p.m. So before 12 p.m., he can make an intention. So as long as he has not eaten between Fajr and 12 p.m., he can make an intention to fast for Ramadan. But it obviously, you'd always have that feeling in that you're going to be you're fasting anyway in your heart, so you don't really need to make the intention. Unless your intention is that you're not going to fast, then it will be necessary to make a fast by 12 p.m. Yeah, and yeah, that's about it. So this can be for Ramadan fasts, specified vows. So any vow you made, like I explained before, that if someone says that if I pass my exams, then for these certain days I will be fasting, then he has to make sure he makes his intention before 12 p.m. Or optional fast, any nawafil, he can make intention till 12 o'clock, till Dahwatul Kubra. For any other fasts, they must be made before dawn. So before Subh Sadiq, you need to have made sure that you have made of intention. So this can be Qada of Ramadan, because it is not fixed. Qada of Ramadan, although the Ramadan fast was fixed for that day, but after Ramadan, if you miss that fast, then it is not fixed anymore. You can make it up on any other day. So you'll have to make intention for that day specifically. Or unspecified vows. So you just said that I'm going to fast for 5 days, but you never said which 5 days. So then it's not specified anymore. So you'll have to make intention on that day that you're going to fast for this vow. Any kafara fasts. So kafara will come later on what it is. But yes, if you make a fast, if you break your fast out of enjoyment and excitement, then that's kafara. Kafara will be lazim upon you. And for kafara, you'll have to make intention that you're doing this fast for kafara. So a general intention will suffice. So if you just made intention that I will keep a fast, then it's fine. One point to remember, that if you do not make intention for example, Qada Ramadan or unspecified vows or kafara fast, you did not make intention but you fasted, then this fast will be counted as a nafil fast. That's come before, that if a person, he has no intention to fast, he has intention to fast, but he does not need to make intention, like he already has an intention in his heart, unless he actually makes intention that I'm not going to fast, then he'll have to make intention to fast. Yeah, so these are just examples of where a person, obviously he'll be fasting. Waking up for suhoor, it shows that he's fasting. Not having breakfast, it shows that he has the intention of not fasting. Then intention of a traveler or a sick person will be for Ramadan unless specified otherwise. So a person who is traveling and a sick person, he has a choice whether he fasts or doesn't fast. So if he does not make intention, then the default intention will be that he is fasting. Unless he specifies that I'm not going to be fasting, then he will not be fasting and he'll have to make for this day. Just suhoor, just a few virtues of suhoor, why you should do suhoor. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentions, have suhoor, for verily in suhoor there is blessing. So we should try to wake up for suhoor, there is blessing in it. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentions suhoor is a blessed meal, so do not abandon it, even if you only take a sip of water. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is mentioning that even if it's just a sip of water, something so small, even then, because it is a blessed meal, you should try to do it. Verily Allah and His angels send blessings upon those who have suhoor. To delay the suhoor close to the time of dawn is preferred. So a person, he should try to do his suhoor as late as he can, but he should also make sure that it is not too close to Fajr, because obviously then there can be doubt whether he has got into the Fajr time or not. So he should try to keep it close but moderate as well. And after you should try to keep some time after suhoor to maybe pray a few rakats or make some dua, inshallah. If someone fasted without suhoor, it would be valid. So suhoor is not necessary, but it shows a sense of humbleness in a person that I am in need of this food. I cannot go without this day, without this food. So it kind of humbles the person as well. But if a person he does not keep suhoor, then obviously he'll miss out on the rewards and the blessings of the sunnah of suhoor. So, any questions?
I have a question. What if you know, instead of waking up for suhoor, what if like you stay up the whole night? Does that count as still as suhoor?
If you stayed up the whole, if you stayed up the whole night,
Yeah.
it's fine. You get this, yeah. So, any questions? What breaks and what does not break your suhoor? There's 3 things that we'll be looking at, inshallah. Actions which break the fast. So, actions that break the fast, sometimes they can result in just qada, just making up the fast, or sometimes you'll have to do qada and you'll have to do a penalty for that fast. Actions which do not break the fast, that's the second thing that you'll be looking at. Which actions do not break the fast, and then you get some of those which are disliked and some of those which are not disliked. Some of those will be makruh, some of those will not be makruh. And then 3 things to take into consideration when we're looking at these things, which actions break the fast and which things are makruh, is eating, drinking and intimacy. So a fast will break if the substance entering the body. First of all, it enters via a valid entry point. So I'll explain what the valid entry points are in a few after this slide, I think. And then it reaches the digestive tract. So it has to go through a valid entry point and then reach the digestive tract. And it has also be a thing which actually breaks the fast. So for example, we breathe in air every day, but that doesn't break the fast. It goes down to the digestive tract as well, but doesn't break the fast. It's not something that will break your fast. So it needs to be something which breaks the fast as well. So these are the entry points. So number 1 is your mouth. So anything that enters it should be throat, goes down your throat, that will directly lead to the digestive tract. So it will be a valid entry point. Similarly, the nose. If something goes up the nose, then that's a valid entry point. So if it goes down to the digestive tract, your fast will be broken. And the anus, your backside. So if something goes up there, then it will break your fast. And the ear. So the ear is usually it won't be a valid entry point, but if your eardrum is ruptured, then it will be a valid entry point. So if something enters whilst your eardrum is ruptured, which is not normally a thing, it's not most people it's not. But if it is, then your fast will break. So any perforation or puncture which leads to the digestive tract. So sometimes people can have injuries in their body which lead directly to the digestive tract. So then that will obviously be counted as, that will also break your fast. Then those things, those places, those parts of your body which if something enters there, then it will not break your fast. It is not a valid entry point. So for first the ice. So if you were to apply, for example, what do you call it? If you were to put something in your eye, eye drops. So if you were to put eye drops, then it would not break your fast. The male and female external genitalia, so that will not break your fast. Something enters up there. So doctors, it is quite often that they put medicine up your front side, so that will not break your fast. Ears, provided the eardrum is not ruptured. So if the eardrum is not ruptured, then obviously it's not a valid entry point. It does not go down to the digestive tract, so your fast will not break. Any pores in your body. So for example, when someone sweats, the pores there, if something enters through there, for example, then nothing will happen. It will not break your fast. And any puncture which does not lead to the digestive tract. So for example, an injection into the veins, that does not lead to the digestive tract. So even if someone's taking injection whilst he's fasting, will not break your fast. So this is a diagram. Now, first of all, the eye. So sometimes when you insert something in your eye, it goes down here, and it can reach down to the throat. So even though it reaches down to the throat, it will not break your fast. But even though sometimes you can taste some saltiness or something down your throat, even then it will not break your fast. Then the ear here is, you're looking at this, the membrane here, the eardrum. If this is ruptured, then it will break your fast. But normally it's not ruptured, so it will not break your fast. And this is the digestive tract. That food first of all goes down here, your throat. This is your throat, and it reaches down to the stomach and your digestive tract. So consideration is not from the mouth; it is from your throat. If something goes down the throat, see, if it's just in your mouth, then it will not break your fast. But if something goes down the throat, then it will break your fast.
Quick question. If I do like steaming, see if I have like flu.
It'll come, inshallah. It'll come again. Yeah. Substances which do not break the fast. So any air that you breathe in, that's obviously not going to break your fast. Fragrance without a body. So fragrance, you can get some perfumes which have a body. So normally when you spray perfume, you can see the particles. So if someone was to inhale that now, that will break your fast. It has entered the nose, it will break your fast. But for example, you apply some itar, and when you apply itar, you can't see the body. There's no particles. You can't see the particles. So if someone was to smell that, it'd be fine. It will not break your fast. But if someone, say for example, he sprays perfume down there, and by chance you just walk past and it enters your nose, then it's fine. It would not break your fast because you did not inhale it. It was not done out of choice. It just happened. Any dust, fly, smoke, steam, if taken with one's breathing, even if they remember they are fasting, if taken intentionally, then the fast will break. So these are things which are hard to avoid sometimes. So you walk in past someone who's smoking, so obviously smoking will enter your system as well. But you did not inhale it, so you should be fine. It will not break your fast. But say for example, your mom's cooking food, and you go to the pot, open the pot, and you inhale the smoke, then that will break your fast because you intentionally did it. Sometimes things are unavoidable, such as if you've goggled your mouth, and you spat the water out, but even then sometimes remnants of water, they are left inside your mouth. So if they go down your throat, it will be fine. It will not break your fast because it's hard to avoid that. And something stuck between the teeth. Now, if you were to take this thing out and put it back in and eat it, then that will break your fast. But if it's something stuck between your teeth that's smaller than a chickpea, then it's fine. If it's bigger than a chickpea, then you have to take it out. But if you swallow it, then it will break your fast. And anything that's not in your mouth, so it was you put it in your mouth, whether it's a chickpea size or smaller than a chickpea, then it will break your fast. And then something which is also fine, that it does not go down the throat. So sometimes you might have something in your mouth and it dissolves, you can't really feel it go down your throat, then you will not break your fast. So one thing to remember is there's a difference between forgetting and mistake. One thing is nisyan and one thing is khata. So nisyan is you forget that you're fasting. So for example, someone put some food in front of you, or someone offered you someone offered you chocolate. Now you forgot you're fasting, so then you eat this chocolate, then your fast would not break because you forgot that you're fasting. But if someone, for example, he eats something by mistake, so there's a difference between the two. So mistake can be, for example, someone's doing wudu and he goggles and he tries to do madmada. So he tries to get water down to the back of his throat, and then water goes down. So that's mistake. That's not forgetting. He's still conscious that he's fasting. Water's gone down by mistake. So in that case, your fast would break. And if you see someone eating and you know that he's going to be fasting, you know it's someone who he's not ill, he should be fasting, but he's eating, he might have forgotten, for example, then it is necessary that you remind them. Makruh tahrim if you don't remind them. Unless obviously if there's a reason, if you see that it's an old man that you could probably say that he probably has a reason not to be fasting, then it's fine not to remind them. And if one accidentally swallows something, the fast will break. If you accidentally swallow something, so for example, a woman sometimes when she cooks, she tastes the food. The husband can be very picky, so she tastes the food, and if the food goes down, that's mistake, that's accident. So then the fast will break. Now, the fasting, it breaks Now, when a fast breaks, it can sometimes result in kafara. So kafara is a penalty, which will result in that you'll have to make up for that day. Not only make up for that day, do qada of that day, but also fast an additional 60 days for that fast. And when will you have to pay kafara? When will this penalty be required? When the crime is maximized and maximum benefit is acquired. So kafara will be usually necessary for a fast that you've broken. So it's not a fast that you haven't started, it's a fast that you've broken first of all, and you've broken it, and you've taken full maximum benefit from this. So, for example, you've broken your fast out of excitement and enjoyment. Say you're feeling thirsty, you drank water, you broke your fast, so then you have to pay kafara as well now, because you quenched your thirst. A penalty is only required for breaking Ramadan fast in the month of Ramadan intentionally without any excuse. So any other fast apart from Ramadan, if you break it, then you will not have to pay kafara, you will just have to make up for that fast. You only have to do qada. But in Ramadan, if you break a fast and there was maximum benefit, then you'll have to make up for the fast and do kafara for the fast. A penalty is required when a substance is swallowed and it has nutritional benefit, medicinal benefit, or provides enjoyment. So those are the three times when most likely the reason for kafara will be lazim on you, it will be necessary. If it is not something which is usually eaten or is something disliked, then the penalty will drop. So if you say, for example, someone goes, I don't know why he would do this, but say if he eats cement. So cement is not something someone would usually eat. So then there's no maximum benefit from that. So then kafara will not be lazim. He'll break his fast, but kafara will not be lazim. And penalties will drop when there is any sort of doubt raised. So any time there's a shubha, then kafara will be dropped. So for example, someone thinks because so say for example, someone thought that there was a small chickpea inside his mouth. So then he ate it. It was less than the size of a chickpea, but he ate it. So his fast will not break, but he thought his fast was broken. So then he decided to eat after. So he ate. So his fast is not broken. Now, if he goes and eats after, then that's because of a doubt, and he broke his fast. Now he has broken his fast. So he didn't break his fast because of that chickpea size thing that he ate first. But now, if he goes to eat after that, because he thought that his fast was broken, and now when he ate, his fast did break, then even then kafara will not be lazim. It will not be necessary to pay kafara. This can happen sometimes. There's a few examples there that eating intentionally after cupping. So there's a ikhtilaf whether hijama of cupping breaks your fast or not. So according to Ahnaf, it does not break your fast, but because in another school of fiqh, it can't break your fast. So if someone thinks that because I've done hijama, a Hanafi, he thinks that because I've done hijama, now my fast will be broken. So he goes and eats after that. So because he thought that it could be broken, there's shubha because there's ikhtilaf. Because of this ikhtilaf, he's resulted in a shubha, he's resulted in a doubt. So that if he goes and eats after now, his fast will be broken, but he will not have to pay kafara, he just have to do qada. Or after vomiting, so if eating in forgetfulness. So if someone eats after he forgets that he's fasting, and then he eats, and then so obviously his fast will not be broken if he forget. But then he thinks that his fast might be broken, so he goes and eats after. So he don't have to, now his fast is broken, but he'll only do qada, no kafara. Similarly, if he vomits, so vomiting, vomiting is when you're not intentionally doing it. If you intentionally vomit, then that will break your fast. If it's not intentionally, then it does not break your fast. So if someone thinks that because of vomiting now my fast is broken, and he goes and eats after, then his fast will break now, but it will be qada, not kafara. Same thing if he has a wet dream. So if someone wakes up and he thinks that my fast is broken, his fast is not broken, but he thought his fast is broken, so he ate, and then qada will be lazim. He'll have to do qada for that fast, but not, he does not have to give kafara. or breaking a fast after making intention during the day. So he made intention after Subh Sadiq, before Dahwatul Kubra. Then he thinks that, my intention probably did not count. So then he breaks his fast. But then I think only qada al-lazim, no kafara. So example where there is no doubt in this is kuhl, surma. You know what kuhl surma is, yeah? The thing that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to apply on his eyes.
Eyeliner?
It's like eyeliner, yeah. No? I think I've got some upstairs, I'll show you after.
What's it called in Arabic?
Kuhl.
Go ahead.
So you do it for what purpose?
It's sunnah to wear it.
Ah.
So if someone puts that on and he thinks that my fast is broken, then it will not be a valid reason for there to be doubt. There's no doubt in that. There's no shari doubt in that. So he'll have to make up for the fast and he'll have to pay kafara. Penalties are dropped when a mistake is made. So if you eat by mistake, for example, then someone could think that it's the same thing. Basically, there could be doubt. But if you eat by mistake, then your kafara is not your fast is not broken. So if you eat after that now, then qada will be lazim, but no kafara. Any questions?
Any question for that thing? No, okay, well,
How about washing with any toothpaste?
It'll come ahead, inshallah. So these,
I think that's okay.
which of these break the fast? So I'm asking you now. A person is riding a bike and a fly enters the mouth and goes down their throat. Will that break your fast?
No? I don't think so.
Is that a mistake or thing? That's an accident.
It's just an accident. It will not break your fast. It's not something you cannot avoid. Steam enters Zainab's nose while she is cooking. That's the first part.
That would be depending, is it?
It just enters her nose.
No intention, it doesn't break.
No, I don't think so because Hassan opened the thing. She didn't open herself.
Yeah. So she didn't try to inhale it herself. It just came in.
Yeah.
So it does not break her fast. But her son Imran opens the lid to the pot and inhales the fragrance.
Yeah, he broke his fast then.
It will break his fast because he intentionally opened the lid and he inhaled the fragrance. Applying Vicks or vapor rub around one's nose.
That doesn't break. But how about if you just that was my question the other time. If you steam, put like Vicks in the vape and then you steam it in your nose.
I think that can break the fast, no?
Sorry?
Applying Vicks.
And you steam yourself.
So 1 second. Okay, so applying Vicks or vapor rub around the nose? No? Yeah.
I think that one doesn't. But my question was a different one. Was the steaming. You see, I've got a portable steamer. So you can put Vicks in there and then you steam. If you're not
Do you
breathing.
steam your face or
It's just for like not breathing.
for breathing?
Yeah, when you blocked. So you just put that on it.
Yeah, so because then you're intentionally inhaling something in your nose, it will break your fast.
I've not used it.
But if it's just fixed around the nose, then it's fine.
So
How about if you put Vicks like inside your nose, like?
I think you should avoid.
So the third one it breaks your fast, no?
Sorry?
The third one that breaks your
Applying Vicks around is fine.
around, yeah? Okay.
When performing wudu, some water went down the throat by accident.
No.
No, it does not break your fast. It's an accident. It's khata. It does not break your fast. Lighting bukhur and fragrance sticks.
No, because you just want to, make the house smell nice, you know.
So it will not break your fast unless you go to the bukhur and you inhale it. Then it will break your fast. Smelling flowers.
I don't think so.
No, it does not break your fast. Smoking.
Definitely.
So if someone smokes, then it'll break your fast. There'll also be kafara lazim because it was fulfilling a desire. Applying oils to the body or kuhl.
I don't think so.
No, it does not break your fast. Even if you feel something in the back of your throat, it will not break your fast. We showed you the diagram of the eye, and I said even if you feel something in the back of your throat, it will not break your fast. Cupping.
That one I don't know, but I was going to ask you that. Probably I don't know.
You say no, but then some schools also say
According to Ahnaf, it does not break your fast.
Don't break your fast.
No. Grinding spices and feeling something at the back of your throat.
No?
So in this, if you feel something in the back of your throat, then it will break your fast. If you see something going down your throat, it will break your fast. If you're just grinding and it doesn't, and you can't feel anything, you spit it out after, it's fine. Chewing a pencil, gum, sugar cane. It's the same thing here, that if you feel something go down, then it will break your fast. Otherwise, it will not break your fast. Water entered the ear whilst having a shower.
no, try for intention.
No, it will not break your fast. Could taste some blood at the back of the throat, and upon inspecting, realize gums were bleeding.
Probably not, because that's not, your fault.
So in terms of blood, there's a bit of there's a few things to remember. That if your blood is more dominant to your spit, so you can see the color of your spit has changed, it's become more red, or you can taste the blood, then your fast will break. Otherwise, if it's just a faint color, then it won't break. Enema is an injection of fluid via the rectum. Will that break your fast?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
It breaks your fast. It's just use water to flush your bowels up your backside. So that'll break your fast. Clear your throat and phlegm went down your throat.
I mean, so if it goes under your throat, then that breaks your fast, no?
Sorry?
Because
But
You just clear it was inside.
he didn't put anything inside your throat.
Anything.
okay, then no, then I must say no then.
It will not break your fast. Tasting food,
If you don't swallow it, so you should be okay, no?
just tasting. Yeah, so if you didn't swallow, then it'll be fine. But you should try and avoid unless there's a valid reason to do it. So for example, you need to check if it's too hot for your children. You're trying to feed your children, and you just need to check if it's too hot, then it's fine to do it, but only if there's a reason like that. Continue with pre-dawn meal. So you complete with your suhoor, thinking that there was still time, but Fajr time has started.
No.
It's not intention.
It breaks.
Present.
Yeah, it breaks your fast, but there will be no kafara because there's a doubt. You had,
The thing is, sometimes I don't understand. You see, every masjid's got their own times when you to start, like when school finishes.
just stick with your local masjid.
Yeah, what if I mean, okay, like the taxi driver, you go to another masjid.
Stick to one timetable.
Bro, no matter where you go, you have to stick with this one.
Yeah, you might be driving some, and then you just okay. Let me get my suhoor from here, then pray from here, and then keep going.
Can you do that? Is that possible?
As in, you can pray from wherever you want, but try to stick to one time for suhoor.
So no matter where you are, you have to follow your local mosque.
You should follow a local mosque. Yeah. Nasal spray.
Name is right. No?
It breaks your fast. You're spraying something into your nose, it'll break your fast. Swallowing a stone.
Who swallows it?
Anything can happen.
If you do it by mistake, then yes. But if you do it intentionally, then,
It'll break your fast, but there'll be no kafara.
How are you going to swallow a stone?
I don't know.
It's there.
Yeah, kids today are weird.
Yeah. You didn't make an intention to fast and you started eating.
You started eating, still has broken your fast.
You didn't make an intention to fast. But
So, I mean, it doesn't count, if you don't make attention.
so there'll be no kafara, but you'll have to do qada of that fast.
There's sort of a difference between kafara and qada. What's the difference?
So qada is just making up for that day. So I can't fast today because of a reason. So say for example I'm traveling, so I decide not to fast. So I'll have to make this day up after Ramadan. Kafara is when you started your fast, but you break it midday. So but during the day you broke it, and you had full maximum benefit from it. Then you have to pay kafara 60 days. You have to make 60 days continuously fast. It will come ahead as well.
So you broke it without a reason?
Without a reason,
Yeah, without a valid excuse, you broke it. Rain entered the mouth and was swallowed unintentionally.
No. Doesn't break your fast.
Yes, but you don't have to do kafara.
It breaks, but no kafara.
After you brother, right?
Tears or sweat entered the mouth and was swallowed.
How do you go for it?
Could be the same.
Could be the same?
If you can taste a significant amount of saltiness from your sweat, then it will break your fast, but there will be no kafara. A Ramadan qaza fast was broken.
What is a qada?
So if you missed, say an example where I missed a fast of Ramadan, I have to make qaza for the after Ramadan. So if I break that fast, I'm making up for that fast I broke in Ramadan, but I also broke that fast too.
You just have to fast it again.
There's no kafara, you just have to fast it again. Kissing one's spouse.
That one, I think I had somewhere, was it what the Prophet said? It depends on one is.
Sorry?
It depends on how the kiss. It could be like kiss on the face or just a simple one. If you go deep, then that would break the fast.
I don't know, brother.
Kissing is makruh, whilst one is fasting, as it can result into those actions which then break the fast. It can result in intimacy. But say if one is kissing and
I'm going to work and then you just kiss my wife, okay.
that is fine. But if someone kisses and he ends up swallowing her saliva, then that will break your fast because it was done out of excitement and enjoyment.
Okay, what's like kiss on the cheek?
No, that's what it
That's
is.
fine.
That's fine, yeah?
Um,
Even on the lips are clean, but not go deep. Just like the goodbye one, going to work and just say,
Vomiting.
yes, no.
Vomiting, no.
If you force yourself to vomit, then that will break.
Accident, no?
Accident, no. Otherwise, no. Even if it's a mouthful, it will not break your fast. Being in the state of major ritual impurity, janabat.
If it's
That one you cannot fast unless you
don't
do.
fast.
No?
You can fast.
You can't fast, yeah?
You can fast and it will not break your fast. If you started, say for example, before suhoor time, you had intimacy and then you entered the fast in the halat of janabat, in the state of janabat, then obviously you need to do ghusl so you can pray fajr, but it will not break your fast. No.
Okay.
Fragrance sprays.
No.
No, it does not break your fast. It's unless you inhale it, then it will break your fast. Blood tests.
I'll say no.
Backbiting.
It does not break your fast, but that's a makruh, no?
Sorry,
Is that backbiting? It does not break your fast, but is it not makruh to do it?
it's makruh, but it's not break your fast. You should try to abstain from all haram actions while you're fasting. Brushing teeth with toothpaste.
Nope. I'll say no. Unless it's swallow it, you know.
Toothpaste, to use toothpaste is makruh.
Makruh.
Yeah, there's an additional flavor and scent which you're entering in your mouth, so that'll be makruh. Similarly with mouthwashes and stuff like that, you should avoid from them. If you want to use a miswak or a miswak that does not have a scent or flavor, or just try to brush your teeth before suhoor time.
One question, another one. Prayer. There's some people that fast and they don't pray.
What's your question?
Okay?
So you break your fast, fast or it's makruh, you know, you don't get all the ajr, you know, hasanat.
I don't think it will not break your fast.
You just
It's
keep
just,
fasting
it's
but not
separate.
praying.
It's the fasting is separate to the namaz. It will not break your fast, but obviously, like he said, you won't get the full reward for it.
I know a lot of people that fast don't pray, right?
No.
It's crazy, you know.
Intimacy now. So if someone completes sexual intercourse, penetration, regardless of whether ejaculation took place or not, then a qada and a penalty will be required because it was out of excitement and enjoyment. So both qada and kafara will be necessary. If there was no penetration, it was just stimulation and ejaculation, then the fast will have to be made up. So for example of this is masturbation. So masturbation, there's no penetration, there's just stimulation and ejaculation. So the fast will have to be broken. The fast will be broken, and only qada will be necessary. You will not have to do kafara for it. If there was no stimulation, there was no ejaculation, there was no penetration, none of these, then the fast will not break. That's pretty simple.
That's like a wet dream.
Yeah, so wet dream will not break the fast. Kafara. So what is kafara now? So kafara, fasting consecutively for 60 days without a break. So you have to fast 60 days without a break in anywhere. 60 days continuously.
You break one, you go back to 60 again.
So only valid break is menstruation. So if a woman, she goes on her period, then she can stop fasting for 10 days and then just carry on her 60.
Oh, okay.
2 months, you know.
Just, if you're a man and you just break one, you have to do it again.
Yeah, start the whole 60 again. So even if Eid comes in between, if you started and Eid comes in between, then you'll have to start your 60 again.
Yes, avoid it.
That one you have to avoid. Because fasting 6 days is hard for a lot of people, you know.
It's not easy,
Yeah.
especially in summer.
So the reason why there's such a harsh penalty for it is so that someone doesn't break the fast. So if someone can't fast for 60 days, so if someone's he's terminally, not terminally ill, he's ill and he can't fast for 60 days, there's no part in the year where he can fast for 60 days, then he should try to feed people, 60 poor people. That's the amount of sadaqatul fitr. Sadaqatul fitr, I think, it's around £4.
So does that mean that you can feed like 60 people a day? If you can feed 60 people a day,
Yeah,
does
so
that
you,
count?
sorry?
If you can feed like 60 people a day, does that count as one day or can count as like 60 days?
Yeah, so if you feed 60 people in one day, that counts as 60 days.
So I have a question. See, what do you call it? Imagine you have to do kafar, okay, 60 days of fasting. Can you choose to feed 60 people instead, or you have to fast?
Or fasting is your first option. If you can't fast, then you can feed.
Feed, yeah.
No excuse.
I get a fasting. It comes to it. Inshallah, no.
Or you can feed one person for 60 days. Give sadaqatul fitr for 60 days. One person. That's fine as well. And if you can't, if he's planning to give them food, he's not giving them money, or he's not giving them sadaqatul fitr, is you give dates or flour or barley. If he's not giving that, then and he's giving a meal, then he should feed 2 times a day. So either he feeds 60 people 2 times a day, 2 times one day, or he feeds one person 2 times for 60 days.
So the people you feed, they have to be the same. If you give someone lunch, and then you have to give them like supper. it should be the same person, or you can get another one.
Same person.
Same person. If you can't get that same person the same day.
Find them, brother, yeah, find them.
So for instance, if you're feeding like the homeless, and you
Yeah, so then in that case, you just give 60 different people.
yeah.
Or maybe tell the homeless to come back tomorrow, man.
It's not easy.
No, absolutely, no, man.
If after breaking on a fast, if someone broke their fast on a day, and then there was a valid reason after that for him to break his fast. So, for example, a woman, she started a fast and she ate by purpose. So then her fast is broken. But then after that, her period starts, for example, then it's fine for her. She will not have to pay kafara. So same reason for men. If someone starts his fast, he breaks his fast, and then after that he becomes so ill that he can't continue with his fast anyway. So then if he eats after that, then he will not have to break. He will not have to pay kafara. So even if he just becomes ill, he will not have to pay kafara.
You know one thing I've remembered? Last Ramadan, I think the Muaaz here made adhan before, like 2 minutes before.
Yeah, that happened.
I forgot even to to fast that. Because I'm used to like fasting the whole month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should try to make up that day.
Yeah?
Yeah. Now, how many fasts? If you've broken fasts for one Ramadan, then one kafara is fine for that. So even if you broke your fast, for example, 3 days in that Ramadan. So this Ramadan, if you broke your fast 3 times, so one kafara is fine. But you'll have to do 3 qada. So 3 times you'll have to fast for those 3 days, plus additional 60 for kafara. Yeah?
3 plus 60.
Yeah.
I'm not breaking my fast.
But those three you don't have to do consecutively. You can do whenever you want.
Okay,
But those 60 you'll have to do consecutively. Now, if there's fast you've broken from multiple Ramadan, so this year, last year, and the year before, for example, then in that case there are 3 opinions of how you can make up for these fasts. So first is one penalty will be sufficient for all past fasts which are broken. So you don't only have to do 60 days for this Ramadan, the Ramadan before, and the Ramadan before that as well. Or one penalty for the fast of one Ramadan. So that's one opinion from the fuqaha. Second one is one penalty for the fast of one Ramadan. So one penalty will only be sufficient for one Ramadan, which means that he'll have to do 3 penalties if he broke his fast this Ramadan, Ramadan before, and the Ramadan before that. So if you do three kafaras, so fast 60 days consecutively for three times. And the third one, the third opinion, which is the most opinion that's used by the fuqaha, is that if a fast is broken by eating or drinking, then one penalty will suffice for the past 3 Ramadan. But if it was out of intimacy, then one penalty per Ramadan. So if it's food or drink, he broke his fast for last Ramadan, the Ramadan before, and the Ramadan before that, then one kafara will be sufficient, will be fine. He don't have to do one kafara. But if it was out of intercourse, he did then in the last Ramadan and the Ramadan before that and the Ramadan before that, so multiple Ramadan, then he'll have to do a separate penalty for each one. And this is the one that most fuqaha use. Any questions? No?
Everything is clear.
So just some makruh acts, which things are disliked and which things are not disliked. So chewing without reason, you shouldn't. That's makruh. Kissing one's spouse.
Yeah, but the chewing one, are you chewing like, will that depend on what you're chewing? Like chewing gum, that will break your fast. So it's dislike, but what is it say? Dislike.
Chewing, for example, I don't know, chewing on a rubber.
What we chew?
Always, someone like putting a pen in your mouth and this.
Yeah, you should avoid it.
Yeah.
How about chewing like the miswak? Because I like to chew my miswak, you know.
Yeah, so sometimes when you chew your miswak, you can end up taking down some. Yeah, so try to avoid it. Kissing one's spouse, that came before. It can result in intimacy, so it should be avoided. Gathering spit and swallowing. So sometimes some people they gather spit in their mouth and swallow. You should avoid that. Delaying suhoor to a point where there is no doubt. whether it's doubt, sorry. So if you delay your suhoor too late, then there can be doubt whether Fajr time has started or not, so you should avoid that too. Doing acts which will weaken a person. So sometimes a person, he might be so old, and so if he's bricklaying, for example, it can result in him becoming so weak that he can't continue his fast, so it's makruh for him to do that after. Brushing the teeth with toothpaste, this came before too. Mouthwash, toothpaste, you should avoid. If you just use a brush, then it should be fine, but mouthwash and toothpaste, you should avoid. Non-disliked acts. Using a miswak. Using miswak is fine, same. Toothbrush is fine, as long as there's no toothpaste. Cupping, if it will not severely weaken the person. If it's not going to weaken you, then it's fine. It is not makruh. Finding ways to cool yourself down. So, for example, you've been for a football game and you take a cold shower to cool yourself down or something, then it's fine. It will not break your fast. It's not makruh. Applying kuhl, that's a surma thing in your eye. That's fine as well. It's not makruh. Any questions? No. Abstaining from eating when not fasting. So for some people, they should abstain from eating even if they're not fasting, and some people it's fine that they don't avoid eating. So these are just a few examples that it is compulsory, it is necessary that someone he abstains from eating and drinking if they're not fasting. These following few people. So one who eats past Fajr time or open their fast before sunset. So he ate after the Fajr time was started, because he thought it was just suhoor, but he realized after that Fajr time was started. Or he opened his fast before Maghrib.
Like the one I told you.
Yeah, like the one that you said that he gave the azan earlier. So even after that, it is necessary for him, yeah? It is necessary for him not to eat during that day.
Yeah, but they didn't tell us until a time when the time was for breaking the fast. Like, oh, we did this by mistake.
Then it's fine.
So we don't have to fast again.
You'll have to fast again for that day. Menstruating woman who becomes pure during the day. So if her period, for example, stops during the day, then it is necessary for her now not to eat.
Oh, she shouldn't eat when it finishes. She should wait until.
She should wait until Maghrib. Sick person who feels better. Yes, so if a sick person he gets better during the day, then he should avoid eating and fasting. It is necessary for him not to eat and fast, not to eat and drink. Sorry. Child becomes mature during the day. So if a person he becomes baligh, then he should avoid eating and drinking. Embracing Islam during the day, same person, someone who he said the kalima, then he should avoid eating and drinking. Traveler reaches home. So musafir, he becomes muqim. He reaches home, then he should avoid eating and drinking. He's no longer a traveler, so he should avoid.
How about if I reach home when I'm really hungry?
Even then.
See, because for me, when I'm traveling, I try to avoid the food on the planes. Even if I'm traveling for like 13 hours, I don't eat.
Why?
It's not like their food.
Some flights have good food, man.
I don't know, you'll have to ask someone.
I try to avoid even drinking because I'm not going to use their toilets.
I'm not sure.
Because even on that day, I came back at midday. I had not eaten anything from midnight to like midday.
There may be some leniencies, I'm not sure, you'll have to ask though.
That was like more than 12 hours.
I can find out for you, inshallah. Yeah. If it takes before midday and they haven't eaten, they must keep the fast, except the menstruating woman who became pure. So any of these, if they have not eaten before the Haafidh al-Kubra, so half day, between Fajr and Maghrib, half the day, and if before that they have not eaten, and say a sick person he becomes better, or a child becomes mature, he becomes baligh, or someone he brings Islam, then it is necessary for them now they keep that fast. Except for a menstruating woman, she cannot fast for that day, even if she has not eaten before. She cannot fast for that day, and she'll have to do qada after. So those people who are, it is not compulsory on them to avoid fasting, to avoid eating, is a menstruating woman, sick person, and traveler. All three of them, the menstruating woman, she cannot fast. she's not allowed to fast. Sick person and traveler, they have a choice whether they fast or not. So it is not necessary for them not to eat and drink. Any questions? No? Medication and treatment. So regarding any illnesses that you may have, or in regards to that, you should try to consult first of all a scholar and a medical professional, and so we go to the doctor and ask him what it is and everything, get all the details, and then go to a scholar and ask him see what your options are. So it might be that you can fast some days and not fast some days. So first of all, you should try to fast as many days as you can, and if you can't, then it's okay if you consult a scholar, and if you see it's okay not to fast, then it's fine. Just a few examples of some illnesses or medical problems that someone may have or something like that. So oral medication that is swallowed breaks the fast. So any medication that you take in orally, that will break your fast. Sublingual spray or tablet. So this normally it diffuses into the blood. So it's just a tablet that you place in between, and you can't really feel anything at the back of your throat, so it will not break your fast. But if you can feel something, then it will break your fast. But normally you wouldn't feel anything.
Sometimes even if you put it under, you still swallow it.
Sorry?
Even if they put it under your tongue,
Yeah.
you can still swallow.
This is something that it just dissolves.
It dissolves, but then the saliva is mixed with that, and you swallow them.
Then it would break your fast. Asthma inhaler, that breaks your fast. That's obvious. Concentrated oxygen, so oxygen that you take in, that will not break your fast. Nebulizer breaks your fast. Regarding inhalers, some people might have doubt, but when you take inhaler, what happens is you take in air. When you inhale, it solidifies at the back of your throat. It's scientifically proven, and then it goes down as a liquid, so it will break your fast. Nasal inhaler or mediation breaks your fast. Intravitreal via the eye does not break your fast. Eardrops, they do not break your fast. Rectal pessaries do not break your fast. Vaginal pessaries do not break your fast. And anything that you've taken up through your muscle or your vein, that will not break your fast as well. Just a few other stuff. That's children, you should try to encourage them to fast from a young age. So if it's possible, if they can't fast the whole day, then start slowly, so a few hours maybe, then half a day, then gradually increase over the years, and then by age of 10, 11, 12, they should try to fast the whole day, inshallah. And just regarding suhoor, it came before that it should be delayed, but not delayed too much that you end up going to Fajr time. And the breaking of the fast should not be delayed. So iftar you should try to do as close to Maghrib, but not obviously you don't go before Maghrib. So moderate as well. That's it. Any questions?
Yeah, we had the questions when we were going through all. Yeah, my question was about the kids. At what age are they supposed to be fasting?
Obviously, it's necessarily fast by bulugh. At the age of when someone becomes baligh, it's first on him to fast. So by then he should have his training done. So 10, 11, 12, he should be fasting a full fast. So before then, say start at age 7, or even earlier if you want some, start earlier. So even if it's a few hours, just tell them what fasting is and get them to in the routine and habit of doing it. Or say for example, Muharram fasts, a lot of people fast as well. So then you try to encourage them to fast in those as well, inshallah. And Monday, Thursday fasts. Obviously they go to school, so they probably can't. But when they are home, then they should try to, inshallah.
Just start slowly and just build it up.
Yeah.
After plan, and I've got my own pace, man.
Any other questions?
No, see how many days is this on? How many days?
Sorry?
Like, when is the next
Sunday.
time?
The next time for
Sunday.
this
Yeah.
Fiqh of Fasting.
Again, something like this. Yeah.
There's one on Zakah next week. I'm not sure about fasting.
Sunday, yeah.
I saw one on the thing in the
Yeah,
chat.
there's one on Zakah next week. Next week Sunday
Inshallah.
in English.
Oh yeah, I like this account because I was even asking my wife, see if you have a business, how much you have to pay. I told her to ask the local masjid, like where she is now, so that she would not miss this account.
Yeah, so there'll be one on Zakah next week, inshallah.
Alright, Jazakallah.
Well,
Other than that, is it finished now?
that's it.
Jazakallah.